What's good? This is JVB representing SPD, and that is sportsperdiem.com. Let's talk about the shitstorm that is the Chicago Bulls. So, on Thursday, John Paxson, featuring Gar Forman, held a press conference after the trade deadline, and they also talked a little bit about the state of the Chicago Bulls, and they made some excuses. I mean, they answered some questions from the media. As everybody knows, the Chicago Bulls made a trade the night before, sending Bobby Portis and Jabari Parker to the Washington Wizards to acquire Otto Porter Jr. My silly ass thought, okay, they acquired Otto Porter Jr., but there's still a day left in the trade deadline, so they might be moving him again because over the next 2 years, he makes about, 56, 57, 58 million. And at this point, the Bulls are in rebuild mode, so they don't need any huge contracts right now. And we already know what Otto Porter is. He was the better player in the deal between Bobby and Jabari, but he's a glue guy. He's not somebody who's going to take your team to the next level. He's more so that guy who comes to the team that has the superstars already that just further balances their team in hopes to win a championship. He's that kind of guy. He's not going to take over a team. He's not going to be the driving force in winning anything. So I thought, okay, the Bulls can, they made the trade for him. They got the best player out of the deal. So now maybe they'll use that piece and maybe add a Chris Dunn and acquire some more assets for the future because that's what they're doing. They're rebuilding. No. The Bulls held on to Otto Porter. That was always going to be the plan. John Paxson talked about it a little bit during the press conference. He said that Bobby and Jabari, they're on expiring contracts. Well, Bobby Porter is a restricted free agent, and Jabari has a team option. The Bulls weren't going to pick up that option, and they weren't going to likely match an offer for Bobby in July. So they just thought, okay, let's get a starting small forward and Otto Porter, and we'll have him along with Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, Wendell Carter Jr., and Lauri Markkanen. Hey, all that said to me was that, hey, we throwing the white flag on free agency at the end of this season, and we're probably throwing the white flag for free agency next season. And that's the fucking problem. It seems like this front office is so content with mediocrity. They're so content with just getting by, and they never want to take a chance. Look at what the New York Knicks did. Their best player, Kristaps Porzingis, was unhappy. He did not want to stay in New York. And what did the Knicks do? Did they say, please, please stay, be happy, we'll do this and that for you, please? No. What they did, they looked around the league. They found a team that can give them the most assets to set them up for free agency this season. They trade away their best player to best set them up for the opportunity to make a trade for Anthony Davis or sign Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving or Kawhi Leonard. A combination of the two, if they can get one and get a Jimmy Butler, that'll be fine too. But you know what those top guys got in common? Those top guys I talked about, Kyrie, KD, AD, and Kawhi, they're better than Kristaps Porzingis. And that's not to knock Kristaps because for all we know, he can go down to Dallas, team up with Luka Doncic, and they can go fucking crazy. They could be the next Dirk and Steve Nash 2.0. Who knows? But that's the whole point. Who knows? Potential. Potential, the definition is the ability capable of being developed. Potential. The New York Knicks said, fuck that. We don't know how good you're going to be. We don't know if you're going to be the same player you were before you tore your ACL. But one thing we do know is that AD is a fucking beast. Kyrie is a monster. KD is one of the best in the league. Some people think he is the best in the league. Kawhi, one of the best, if not the best two-way player in the game. Massively underrated. We can get one of those guys, if not two of those guys, if we move Kristaps. Because you know what? This is a rich franchise. The New York Knicks, they play at MSG. Madison Square Garden is one of the pinnacles in all of sports. They have an old school fan base who's been there for a long ass time. They want to win. They want to win now. They don't want to wish and wait and sit and hope. They want to take action right now. And that's the difference between many teams in this league and the Chicago Bulls. For 16 years, damn near 17 years, we've seen the same faces in charge. They sit on their laurels. They're content with what's on the court. Oh, we got Derrick Rose. Yeah, we added Carlos Boozer. Yeah, and Ben Gordon, he's a nice, solid player. Luol Deng's a really good player. Joakim Noah, he's coming to his own. He's a good player. Taj Gibson is a good role player. But they never wanted to take that extra step. Take that chance of winning right now. I'm talking about Derrick Rose. That was damn near 10 years ago when they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and played the Miami Heat. That was their chance. Because what ended up happening the next season, they were the number 1 seed. Game 1 of the first round of the playoffs, Derrick tears his ACL. And poof, it's all over. And ever since that point, they failed to do any fucking thing. They end up getting into it with Tom Thibodeau, the head coach of the team, because you don't like it. You don't like it that way no more. That's not cool for you anymore. So you fire him. Out goes the disciplinarian and Tom Thibodeau, and in comes a player coach and Fred Hoiberg. And what happens? They run over his ass. He's too complacent. All those egos were too much for Fred Hoiberg, a college head coach, to take. Then word comes around that Gar Forman doesn't really like Fred Hoiberg. So what do? They fire Fred Hoiberg. And in his replacement comes the assistant head coach in Jim Boylen, a disciplinarian. We just had a disciplinarian. What the fuck do you guys want? We had Tom Thibodeau. Yes, things didn't work out in Minnesota for him, but Tom Thibodeau has proven in this league that he can win games and get the most out of his players. What has Jim Boylen done? Shit. In the press conference, they want to defend Jim Boylen, saying that we thought things would get a little bit better after we made a coaching change. But unfortunately, you know how the league is, things have gotten actually worse. And why is that? Why is that, John? Why is that, Gar? Because Jim Boylen does not know how to fucking coach in this league in 2019. Hell, ever. Fred Hoiberg became a sympathetic figure amongst Chicago Bulls fans because of how they treated him and how we see Jim Boylen and what he is as a head coach. Because quite frankly, there was no reason to fire Fred Hoiberg. You were going to be trash regardless. Jim Boylen is a horrible NBA head coach. The man coaches like it's 1982. You got Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, Lauri Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., and you coach like it's 1982. This team is built for speed. This is a young team. They can run the fucking court. Hell, your slogan this season is run with the Bulls. What the fuck? But you want to slow it down. You want to play 1982 offense. You want to fucking smack the floor and play super tough defense. No. It's 2019. The game has changed drastically. But you got this fucking guy coaching like it's 1972, 1953. Pick a year. He coaches as old school as it gets. He is not an X's and O's guy. He just tells these guys to go out there and bust your ass, play great defense, and just grit it out. That's his game plan every single night. Just play hard, play tough, play gritty, and we'll pick up the victory in the end. We'll win 89-86. We got it. Let's go, guys. Let's get it. And then after they lose by 43 points, all he has to say is that we can play harder. That's it. That's all you got. We can play harder. You know why that's all he got? Because that's all he fucking knows. He doesn't know any X's and O's to the game. And let's say the Bulls won the lottery. Let's say because it's in Chicago, the lottery that is, let's say they get some good mojo and they get the first overall pick, even the second overall pick. But let's say they get the first overall pick and select Zion Williamson. Do you really want Jim Boylen to be coaching this team with Zion Williamson on the roster? Will this team be able to succeed with Jim Boylen as the head coach if they had Zion Williamson, Lauri Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., Zach LaVine, and Chris Dunn on the roster under this coaching staff? No. This team will be a middling NBA franchise still. You know why? Because Jim Boylen will not be able to get the most out of his players. Players aren't going to progressively get better under Jim Boylen. It's not going to happen. And then you got these goofballs talking about how, okay, Jim Boylen is our guy. He is our coach. He will be here next season. Really? Really, Garpax? Really? Are you serious right now? So you're telling me if you get the opportunity to draft Zion Williamson, hell, even R.J. Barrett, that Jim Boylen will be the head coach of the Chicago Bulls next season? You are out of your fucking mind. All that tells me is that he will be our head coach because we can control him. He'll do what we say when we ask for it. He won't give us any bullshit because he's complacent in his role as the head coach, just as we are complacent in our roles as the general manager and vice president of this team. That's all that tells me. And to have that mentality after the mistakes that's been made, after failing over and over, after trading away Derrick Rose and letting Joakim Noah go to free agency, saying that we're going to get younger and more athletic, but you signed Dwayne Wade, Rajon Rondo, and you draft Denzel Valentine. They don't care. They don't care about winning it all. They just care about getting by. Every year, if they can be the 4th or 5th seed, make it to the first round of the playoffs, and probably get to the second round, that's their NBA Finals. That's their mindset. That's how they go about doing business, because at the end of the day, they only really care about the money. And if they're barely good, if they're good enough to get a first-round playoff series, they're fine with that, because that's making the Reinsdorfs more money. As long as they can continue to make the Reinsdorfs more money, the Reinsdorfs aren't going to take them out of that position. That's all they fucking care about is the money. So John Paxson is going to do the minimum. He's going to take the least amount of chances just to get by, just to be a 4th seed, just to be a 5th or 6th seed. That's all he cares about. That's all they care about. And it is sad because We just got the list of all the valuable franchises in sports, and Chicago Bulls are among the top franchises in the fucking world. They are worth over $2 billion. They are worth more than the Golden State Warriors. That bothers me. That tells me that, you know what needs to really happen? People need to take a stand. All Bulls fans need to take a stand. They need to stop going to the games and lining up their fucking pockets. You need to make a stand, because I don't care if the tickets have been sold because of season ticket holders. If you don't show up and they're having a game and there's thousands of empty seats, they will take notice. Game after game. If it continues and it gets worse and there's more and more empty seats, they will take notice, because those season ticket holders won't be season ticket holders for long. They'll eventually leave, because at the end of the day, why am I going to invest my hard-earned money and give it away to a group of people who don't really give a fuck about you? They just care about getting by. I don't know what the fuck the Chicago Bulls are up to. I don't know what they want to do. I really don't. Well, I do know, but it's sad that they want to just get by. Trading for Otto Porter Jr. made you better. But on the other side, you currently have one of the worst records in the NBA. You have the possibility of drafting a player like Zion Williamson. So why in the blue hell are you making a trade to get better? Because that's what you did. You traded Jabari Parker and Bobby Portis for Otto Porter Jr. You just got better. And we just saw that last night because they just beat the Nets in Brooklyn. They got better. You know what that means? When you get better, the chances of you getting Zion Williamson or the other two guys, they're going to fade. You're not going to be able to get an RJ Barrett. You're not going to be able to get the top three guys because you're out of the contention. The Knicks, the Cavaliers, and the Suns, they all know what's up. They know that the draft is super top heavy this year. So what are they trying to do? Lose. They're going out of their way to lose as many games as they possibly can to remain in that top three, or I should say top four, because the top four teams are going to have the best chance to land the number one overall pick. But what does the Chicago Bulls do? They make a trade to get better, acquiring Otto Porter Jr., and who knows? They might catch Atlanta. If they catch Atlanta, then they have the fifth worst record in the league. And then there's a chance that you're going to be drafting seventh or eighth, a position that we know all too well as Bulls fans. Man, this is sad, man. This is ridiculous. The Bulls should know better, especially who's in charge. They've been in charge for so fucking long. And it's not even me disliking John Paxson. I like John Paxson. I respect everything he's done for this franchise. He's played for this team. He's been an assistant coach with this team. He's been a broadcaster. And now he's run the full gamut, and he's an executive for this team. But enough is enough. You can give him another title, another role on this team. He doesn't have to be the one making day-to-day decisions. Bring in some new blood. Bring in somebody from the outside who has the creativity, who has a creative mind that can formulate these trades, acquiring draft picks and not giving away draft picks. Making these trades to dump off salaries to teams, to better position yourself to have the capital to sign a big-time free agent. This team needs a makeover, and it starts at the top. John Paxson needs to be removed from what he's doing. He needs to be removed from day-to-day operations. Let's bring in somebody new that can take over this team, that will equip this team with a head coach who knows how to coach in 2019, who knows how to coach and get the most out of his players. This team is so young. This team will just rot away in mediocrity if Jim Boylen, John Paxson, and Garth Foreman are at the head of this franchise for years to come. There needs to be change. These guys have gotten too many fucking opportunities only to be mediocre. But I'm done. Make sure you comment down below. Let me know how you feel. Do you agree? Do you disagree? If you disagree, maybe something is wrong with you. But please, comment down below. I would truly appreciate the feedback. Like the video. Share this video with other Bulls fans. And subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the listen. Take it easy. God bless. Peace.